Which hypothesis test should we use to analyze this question? A company wants to know if its engineers and salespeople are equally likely to be satisfied with their jobs. They survey 40 random engineers and 30 random salespeople. 33 of the engineers and 19 of the salespeople said they were satisfied with their job. Is there evidence that an employee's type of job is associated with their chance of being satisfied? The first thing that I notice about this problem is the word associated. That tells me that we're investigating an association or a relationship. So we want to consider using a test for two variables, either a two-proportion z-test or a two-sample t-test. The next thing I notice about this problem is the words equally likely. That tells me that I'm testing a probability or a proportion, which tells me that I should consider using a one-proportion z-test or a two-proportion z-test. When we put these two clues together, both equally likely and associated, the intersection is that we should consider using a two-proportion z-test. Now that we know which test we're considering, we need to check the validity conditions. Recall that the validity conditions for a two-proportion z-test are that there are at least 10 observations in each cell of the 2x2 table summarizing the data. We can build the 2x2 table like this. We know the total number of engineers and salespeople surveyed, and we know how many of each were satisfied. We can fill in the not satisfied row by subtracting. 30 minus 19 gives 11 salespeople who were not satisfied. And 40 minus 33 gives us 7 engineers who were not satisfied. But 7 is less than 10, which means that the validity conditions for a two-proportion z-test are not met. So this test is not appropriate. We could gather more data in hopes of finding at least 10 engineers who are not satisfied, or we could use the two proportions applet, which does not require at least 10 observations in each cell.